Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, dedicated to making you a better fisherman. Proudly brought to you by our sponsors: The Boat Shop, 3J's Fourway, Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, The Lakes Insurance Agency, Lone Star Bass Trail, V&M Baits. Now on to your hosts, Ranger Daiwa Pro Staff Steve Graff and V&M Baits President Kevin Jean.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ranger Daiwa Pro Staffer Steve Graff, and you're tuned in to Tackle Talk Live. That's right here from the banks and the shores of Sibley Lake, Louisiana. We're here to bring you a show today. And to my left is my partner, Kevin Jean. Kevin's not really here today, but we're going to, in honor of Kevin, we've got the V&M Baits, because he is the president and CEO of V&M Baits. We got Kevin going to join us just in a ghost perspective. But anyway, hopefully he won't have too many comments today. So the show is all me today. And but hey, I'm going to do the best I can. Plus, we've got a great guest lined up for you today. Raymond Kidd, the owner of the Boat Shop in Shreveport, Louisiana. He's going to come on and talk to us about the boating industry in general, summer boat maintenance tips, as well as the new Caymus boat line that they're introducing there at the Boat Shop. Raymond's carrying that line in Shreveport market. So we'll learn a lot about that today as well. And but first, we've got to recognize some of our great sponsors. Toledo Health. Toledo Health, located on Highway 6 near Toledo Town. You know, and if you get a hook in your hand or you get sick, sometimes as anglers, we get sick on our trips. We eat some bad food somewhere, whatever it might be, Toledo Health, you can pull in there. They're open pretty much all the time. They'll take care of all your primary care needs. And it's just Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines. They are the two people that are heading this thing up and doing a great job. They bring health care that's convenient to that area right there at Toledo Bend. It's right there located right at Toledo Town. And so if you're looking for a place, appointments are available. Walk-ins are always welcome. They treat any and everyone from fish hooks to chronic conditions. Give them a call, 318-508-5323. And again, they're located at 11340 Texas Highway, just outside of Manning, right there when you get in Toledo Town. It's on your right, can't miss it. So check them out. Also, we've got Lone Star Bass Trail. They have a tournament coming up, guys, that a lot of people are going to probably want to get in this. It's called the Ironman Tournament. They're going to have live music from 12 to 4. It's going to be at Castle Boykin Pavilion on Sam Rayburn, August the 7th. Going to be games, prizes for adults, kids. This is going to be a really big event. Launching will be once again from Castle Boykin. Fishing time from 6 a.m. till 12 noon and from 4 till 9. It's really like two tournaments, so $300 per team, 3 fish limit in both time frames. So you can fish in the morning from 6 till 12, come in, cool down a little bit, get something to eat, maybe get some fruit in your body, some liquid in your body, kind of rejuvenate yourself, and then go back out from 4 till 9 o'clock. Total weight of both time frames will determine the winner. This is a cool concept. I really like this. And again, it's called the Ironman Tournament, which makes it Ironman, I guess, because it's basically all day long. But you do have some time, middle of the day, get out of that midday heat, take a break, maybe retie, respool, whatever you got to do, get yourself ready for that second half of the tournament. And but what a great concept. And so if you're looking for something to do on August the 7th, Sam Rayburn, this is definitely the place you want to go. Does have an off-limits period from August 2nd till, Friday. It's Monday, August 2nd till Friday, August the 6th, and 12 p.m. till 4 p.m. on 6/7, which is the day before the tournament. So the day before the tournament, it's basically off limits after lunch. So make sure you know the rules. Pick you up an Ironman tournament flyer, or you can go to our website or go to our Facebook page at Tackle Talk Live. The flyer's on the page, and you can see all the information you need to see. Everything's there. So check it out. And again, that's by the Lone Star Bass Trail. Check them out. It's something I think could be a really cool concept. I think you'll enjoy fishing it. Also, we've got the boat shop. And the guy we're fixing to get on the phone real quick. We're going to give him a good day's promotion today. Let me find his number here. We'll give him a call right now. And again, it's going to be Raymond Kidd. He is the owner of the boat. Hey, what's up, Raymond?
Not much, Mr. Graff. How are you?
I'm doing great. And once again, we've got Raymond Kidd on, the owner of the boat shop. And Raymond, I've known you a long time. We're going to get right into this. This is
Sure.
This is not just a boat shop promotion, but there's things that you've been doing and gotten involved in the local area, even in the fishing world. Crappie tournaments. I think you had one this past weekend.
Yeah, we did, and what a great success. There's a million bass tournaments out there, and one crappie trail in town. And so we decided we've been dealing with a lot of crappie fishermen with being a Garmin dealer and live scope and all of that stuff. So we thought, well, let's put on a tournament, and we did it first in April or May. In March was our first tournament, and it was a bounding success. And then second one was on Saturday, and have had nothing but rave reviews. So we'll keep on doing it. We made it a very family-oriented tournament. It was food and drinks for everyone afterwards, and bring the family by afterwards. I didn't want to make it so competitive that it's just like the rest of the tournaments. Definitely a family affair, and so far everybody's just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, and do you plan on continuing that into the fall, or is this just going to be a spring summer deal?
We do. For 2021, I'm going to do a one tournament a quarter. So we'll have another one in 3 months, and then another one in 3 months. That last one may be a little close to deer season, so I'm not sure how much participation we'll have, but we're going to do it anyways. Find out, and then for 2022. I'm going to get with the powers that be and heads in the fishing world to see about putting on a real circuit for the crappie guys. Target some of the bigger lakes that I in my opinion, are totally underutilized. None of the big circuits go to Toledo Bend, which just blows my mind.
Yeah, and it's a great crappie fishery. So I think your turnout there, anything going on Toledo Bend, Raymond, is 9 times out of 10 a great choice, and it's usually a great success.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Okay, let's Raymond. We're going to start from the very beginning. I'm going to toot Raymond's horn just a little bit here because I know he won't toot his own horn. Years ago, when I first met Raymond, Reeves Marine, I think was Raymond's actual first employer. Correct me if I'm wrong, Raymond.
Yeah, no, absolutely. First employer is an adult, absolutely.
And Raymond worked for Reeves. I was on the pro staff at Reeves Marine. We're actually working a boat show, and I'm standing there with a Yamaha technician from Yamaha Outboards. And Raymond walked by, and that technician tapped me on. He said, "You know that guy?" I said, "Yeah, I've just met him the past few months." And I said, "I've gotten to know him a little bit." And he said, "That's the best Yamaha mechanic we've ever put out of our school." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yes, sir." He said, "That guy right there knows what he's doing." And I have to vouch for you. Hey, they weren't lying, folks. If you're looking for a Yamaha mechanic, this is the guy right here that will take care of all your Yamaha needs. He understands it inside and out, front to back, stays up to date on the latest technology going on with the show and everything else that they're introducing at Yamaha. So, again, Raymond, hey, thank you for being with us today. Now, I really want to start from the very beginning with you. Where was home and how did you get here? Because obviously you're not from Louisiana or Texas by that accent.
Sure. So I grew up in a country called Zimbabwe in southern Africa, and was part of a boating and fishing family. So as I got through high school, I had the grades to go to college, but I wasn't going to be a doctor or attorney. So my dad said, "Well, you're going to go and learn how to work on boats." And that's really how it happened. I moved to Daytona Beach in 2006 to go to a vocational school. And while I was at that vocational school, things in Zimbabwe got a little rough. And so my parents said, "Hang out and get a job." And well, here we are in 2021. Was lucky enough to get a job at Reeves Marine. Worked there for a while, and decided in 2010 that I should move somewhere else. For various reasons that we don't need to talk about, and ended up going to Bayou Outdoor, worked there for several years too. I'd always had the passion to do my own thing and to not have my hands tied. I wanted to do it my way, whether my way was right, wrong, or indifferent.
Right.
And so in 2014, that's what I did. Is I started the boat shop. Started out very small with nothing but service. Was nervous to death that I was not going to have any work. You do all this planning and what have you to get something done and have overhead, and you think, well, what if nobody shows up? And we were very, very fortunate that never happened. I had 4 boats waiting for me that first Monday that I started on February the 16th. Since then, the boat shop has expanded fairly rapidly. We now have 7 employees, a lot of which were people that I had worked with at previous dealerships. And I've finally been able to, the shop's busy enough to afford to hire better and better people every year. So we've got Jack in the parts department, who's a self-proclaimed boat nerd. He just loves boats and everything about him. So any of your parts needs, he can look up what you need, guide you in the right direction, all of that stuff. And then in the back, I have my brother, who takes care of the back more than I do nowadays. He moved over in 2015, so I'd been in business for about 10 months when he decided to come over. And then we have Stephen and John in the back, who are both also seasoned veterans. Stephen was actually my boss at Reeves when I started, so things have come full circle.
Yeah. And the thing about it, Raymond, as I'm sure you were taught as a young man that, hard work never hurt anybody. I know I was taught, hey, you provide good service, honest service. If you're upfront with customers, honest with people will come to you. As long as you're doing good work and you're honest with them, they're going to come and they're going to show up. And you're living proof of that, because I know sometimes you tell people things that they really don't want to hear. And I know from my standpoint, there's been times you tell me, well, Mr. Graff, you're going to need this, this, and this. And I'm like, Lee, really? Do I really have to have it? Well, if you want your motor to perform at this level, this is what you're going to have to do it. Okay. And I've always trusted you. Any boat that I have ever sold, my boats, my motors have left me in as good a condition it was when I first got them. And a lot of times it's been because of this guy right here, Raymond Kidd, doing my service work on my motors year in and year out. He is the best that there is in the business. And when you get a mechanic you trust, that makes a huge difference in just your psyche as an angler and as a boater, trusting that person that is doing the work on your motor.
Yeah, no, and the trust has been a huge deal for us. We've, like you said, I don't always let people know what they want to hear the first time, but a lot of the time, hearing the truth, well, it helps you in the long run, whether it be a time frame or that you do actually need to change an extra filter or anything like that. An open book as well for us,
right,
helps a lot too. Just keep the customer informed, and give them the choice. So we communicate with everybody, whether it be the parts person or the whoever. Let the customer say no.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't take it on your own to say that. Well, I just don't think he should have this filter. If it calls for it, let the customer know.
Yeah.
And let him say yes or no. There's no point in burdening yourself with that decision.
Right. And speaking, changing filters, as you alluded to earlier, let's dive into that category of boat maintenance right now in the summertime. Raymond, what's probably the one thing? I know what I think the one thing is, especially batteries. Batteries this time of year can get depleted real quick because of the heat, and you're charging, especially if you're using them a lot. Water levels. Talk about battery maintenance and any other maintenance that needs to take place in the summertime.
Absolutely, Mr. Graff. So there's everything that we think about in the beginning of the season is fresh on our mind, and as summer rolls around, we seem to forget it. So batteries is a huge deal. Keeping water in your batteries and checking them on a regular basis. My recommendation is to leave the batteries plugged in all the time. If they're not being used, they should be on charge. The argument against that is that you lose water. Well, if you keep water in them, you don't have to, at that point it's null and void. The batteries are always maintaining. The longer they're on charge, the less chances they have of calcifying. And what calcification is what kills the battery. It's calcium that builds up on the lead plates, and eventually that's what kills the battery. Is there's no conductivity between the plates. So keep them rolling all the time.
And
check
check
connections.
And when you do that, again, you're preserving the life of the battery. As a tournament angler myself, you told me back in the January when I got my boat picked up from you, do my yearly maintenance. When I picked it up, you told me, hey, your trolling motors batteries are about 75% effective right now, 75% power. Your cranking battery is about 90%, so you're good there. But I always try to get 4 years out of my batteries if I can. And so far, because I've kept the water level in my batteries where they're supposed to be, I'm still, knock on wood, I'm still good for probably another tournament or two, and which should get me through this season. And then I'll go see, Raymond probably come September and say, hey, let's put 3 new ones in there. Let's go. And
sure.
And I got 4 years out of them. You get 4 years out of your batteries and you're a tournament angler, you did pretty darn good.
Yeah, you're definitely on borrowed time at 4 years, I think, even for the best maintained batteries.
Right. Okay, so other than battery maintenance, let's stay on batteries. I want you to talk a little bit about lithiums, because that's kind of the new thing right now, and a lot of the pros are using them, but the pros ain't paying for them. They're kind of being the guinea pigs for these lithium boat battery companies, and they're putting them in their boats at no charge, and they're getting to use them, and they all have great things to say about them, but I want to hear from a guy that works on them and deals with them on a daily basis. Lithium, is it the future, and our lead acid battery is going to be by the wayside?
I think eventually. It's not anytime soon, though. I think in the next 10 or 15 years, yes, it'll be the future, but I don't see lead acid going away anytime soon. It's you hit the nail on the head that if I was getting given batteries, I would go lithium in a heartbeat, but it's super hard to justify the cost versus, the bang for the buck. If you take all of the emotion out of it and write it down on paper, you probably won't buy lithium batteries. Yeah. The life of the battery is much greater on a lithium, but again, we don't know exactly what the life is. They say they last 10 years, but I haven't been around long enough to know that.
Right.
If I knew that I could get 10 years out of them, I possibly, would buy them. But I don't know that yet.
Do you see the prices coming down on those anytime soon, or next year or two, or?
Yeah, I depending on which brand. We went from having 1 or 2 brands out there to I hear about a new one every day.
Yeah.
I personally sell Lithium Pro. The reason we sell Lithium Pro is because they've been at it the longest. They're absolutely the most expensive, but they've also, they've done their research and several other things to warrant that cost.
Yeah.
And as a business owner, I have to if I'm going to sell something, I need the support and to know that they're still going to be in business in the next 3 to 10 years, so that I don't, sell. Hey, Mr. Graff, these batteries are wonderful. They have a 10-year warranty. Well, if the business goes out of business before that, the warranty doesn't count.
No, that is so true. And talk about what is the advantage of lithium? Can I pre-fish 2 or 3 days without recharging them, or do I have to charge them like I do my lead acid batteries? What are the advantages of lithium? Is it more power in a smaller container, less weight in the boat? What's the advantages?
All of those are definitely advantages. The biggest advantage is weight. If you are running lead acid either in Group 27 or Group 31 batteries, we're anywhere from 65 to 80 pounds of battery. And so a 36-volt Lithium Pro cell, the whole 36-volt cell itself is 14 or 15 pounds. And so, there's weight savings of 100 plus pounds, which is a pretty big deal if you are really interested in performance. The 36-volt cell does have a longer run time. Not only a longer run time, its run time is 100% tool zero, which is good and bad. It's just like a DeWalt drill that when the batteries will go from like nothing's wrong to dead in one trigger pull. Yeah, right. So it runs at 100% till the end, which is good. It is good as long as you know where the end is.
Right.
So again, unfortunately, it's the most expensive way of doing things, but I recommend 2 36-volt cells with a switch, and so that way you're actually doubling your amp hours. If you get two 65 amp 36 volt batteries, you're effectively getting 110 or 112 or 130 amp hours, because you have a switch that you're only running off one of those batteries.
Right.
So you switch it to position 1, run that battery till it's dead, no big deal, switch over to position 2, and I've heard of guys fishing for a week like that.
Right, right.
So they're really, really cool. They save a bunch of room and a bunch of weight, but at this point in time, it's more of convenience than it has to have.
And also another, I guess you call it a drawback. Maybe you don't, but you have to have a special charger for the lithium batteries, don't you? A standard 4-bank charger in a Ranger or a Skeeter or any other boat line is not going to work with a lithium battery, will it?
No, not effectively. There are some people that saying it does, but it's a different charge rate. A lead acid battery charges about 14.8 volts at most, and a lithium's charging well over 16. And so you're not, you're buying a Ferrari and then putting regular gas in it. It's not a good idea.
Oh, yeah, good example. Yeah.
The other one little drawback is there's a lot of talk about lithium for cranking. Mercury and Yamaha do not recommend running a lithium for cranking. A lot of it is because of the unknown, but mostly because the way the charging system works on an outboard engine is it has to recognize what's there. Right. And if it doesn't recognize what's there through resistance, so the alternator is, measures the resistance between ground and hot and knows whether a battery's charged or not. If it doesn't know it's charged, you can overcharge or undercharge a battery very quickly.
Which could create a heat problem inside your boat.
All kinds of heat, and you've spent $2,000 on a battery that you say, man, it still blinks my graphs or whatever it is. It's because it just doesn't know how to get charged. So
right. For
right now, it is trolling motor batteries only.
Raymond, let's switch gears dramatically here. The Caymus boat line. Actually, you had 3 in when I was up there, not about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I actually you did a walk around with me. Very impressed. Tell us about the Caymus boat line and what's the plan as far as how many you're going to have on ground there on site, and how's sales going with that particular boat?
Absolutely. So sales have been wonderful. Those 3 boats that you saw are all gone, as well as we have 2 special orders on the way, and we sold one of their great big bay boats as well, which is very fun. Mm-hmm. How we came about Caymus is because of my history in service only. If I was going to get into a boat line, I needed a boat line that I did not have to apologize for. Yeah. My whole life in this industry has been sales would sell something and I have to pick up the pieces after the fact, and I just didn't want to do it. Right. So myself and my brother hopped in a truck last August and had scheduled plant tours with 3 different facilities and ended up liking Caymus the most. So far, just been absolutely wonderful. The biggest difference between a Caymus and everything else is attention to detail. In the wiring, the battery compartment, you can change every single pump in the boat with a pair of no tools, for a matter. I mean, you've got to cut about 3 zip ties and you can change every pump in the boat.
And the thing that impressed me the most was how easy it was to get to.
Yes, absolutely. You don't have to be an acrobat or a contortionist to get back there. Super clean. Having a clean battery compartment like that allows for you to we've talked about batteries. You can maintain them better if you can see the connections and all that kind of thing. True. The other thing that has been, we only found this out after the fact, but so impressive, especially for this area, is the rough water ride on the 21 especially. They're all ride good, but the 21 rough water capabilities is just unbelievable. Yeah. I've had the chance to run one for about 4 or 5 hours now, and in a 1.5 or 2 foot chop, you about have to come off a plane to realize how big of a day it is. It really, really does well. Has a very, very steep dead rise that runs the length of the boat. And so you don't have to be a seasoned driver to drive it in big water either. We've all seen guys that run two nose down or two nose up or whatever it may be.
Right.
The Caymus doesn't seem to mind. It'll run wherever.
And when we're on the big waters like we have in our region, like Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend, those bodies of water, we're talking 3 and 4 foot swells some days. And man, and just peace of mind, Raymond, knowing that you're in a really good, solid boat as an angler. Driving that boat, boy, I tell you, it makes a difference mentally to the guy driving it, knowing that, hey, I'm in a really good boat. It's not going to fall apart on me. It's going to get me to the bank, get me back home to my family safe and sound. And a lot of times, like for me, I got a co-angler in the boat that I'm concerned about. I got to get him back.
Absolutely.
And I'm responsible for this young man or a older man or a young lady that's with me. I'm responsible for these people and getting them back to the bank. And so what you just talked about, that rough ride and the confidence in the boat performing at a high level is so, so important.
Yeah, it is. And yes, it is, the wiring in the boat in that big water situation too is something you don't think about. It may just be inconvenient that you lose a bilge pump, but if you lose a bilge pump in a 6-inch rainstorm or 3-inch swells, it goes from an inconvenience to a big problem. And so having good wiring, clean wiring that you can inspect, part of your regime, if you're fishing a big tournament and all that, is to check all that stuff out, and it's easy to do on this boat.
Right, exactly. And any other features that you noticed that are a little different than anybody else? What about storage? How about storage capacity?
Plenty storage. So it's got the front deck has a huge beam on the 21, and it carries the beam all the way forward. Matter of fact, we sold one to a crappie guy that there's enough room up front for 2 pedestals. Mm-hmm. We've got storage for about, if you really crammed them in there, you could probably fit 30 to 40 rods in the boat. There's 18 on the port side rod locker. They've got rid of the rod tubes, which I prefer. Especially in a side locker, the rod tubes seem to just be a way to break eyes. Right. And so it's just one finished box. The center box has the option to be rod storage or tackle storage. And what a lot of guys do is they'll put their tackle in there and then maybe put 1 or 2 of their bigger rods. If they are going to throw an 8-foot something rod for a big swim bait or something like that, they put it in that box separated from everything else.
Well, another thing too with the rods nowadays, you got the rod cover. So most guys, the tubes are kind of they're irrelevant, and they kind of keep you from putting more rods in there because, like I said, when you use the rod covers now, the rod sleeves, man, you can put as many rods in there as you want on top of each other.
Absolutely. So yeah, lots and lots of storage. Totally dry as well, which is a big deal too. If you are a tournament angler, nobody likes to leave their boat in the rain, but it's going to happen at some point, and you don't have to worry about things getting wet. If you put stuff away wet, it does have a fan system that it draws in air on the port side of the boat, pulls that air all the way through every compartment and sucks it out on the starboard. All stainless steel latches. The latches, this is the only boat in the bass boat world that I know of that it has stainless steel strike plates. So when your co-angler or your wife or your kids are in the boat and don't pay quite attention to which position to have the latch in, it's not going to scratch the boat. Right. Another huge deal is totally independent live wells. And so got 2 great big live wells.
And I mean, they were big, they were deep.
Yes, deeper than anything out there that I know of. And we can do oxygenators, a recirc, a high-speed pickup to keep the live wells full on a big rough day.
Raymond, I want to ask you, while you're on live wells, is anybody coming out with anything that will cool the water down inside? I'm surprised nobody's come out with a coil system that runs through your cooler on your boat to help keep that water cool down inside that live well.
Well, they have. We actually have a customer with one, and then Charger has it in their boats. It could be done pretty easily. You do need to put a thermostat on there. Because you pull fish out of 97-degree water and dump them into 60-degree water, and you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, you'll shock them. You're right. You'll shock them.
But, yes, they do have that. It is still being perfected. the one system that I've seen that is not trouble free yet. But I don't think it will be long.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be long at all.
Raymond, hang on one sec real quick. I need to recognize three more of our sponsors. Three Ways, Fourway, Cypress Knee Outdoors. John Abraham and the gang down there at Cypress Knee do a great job. If you're looking for soft plastics like sand or hard baits like Sandtone and Strike King, if you're looking for soft plastic, of course, there ain't but one to pick, and that's V&M. Take V&M. They're the only ones down there that you need to worry about. So, and they've got a new bait we're going to talk about here in just a little bit called the RC Crawl. I'm going to introduce you to it again. Kevin introduced it last week. We'll cover it again today. But if you're looking for some good tackle, guns, ammo, Cypress Knee Outdoors, just south of Natchitoches, exit 127 off I-49. You can give them a call, 318-238-HUNT. Also, Pride Rods, custom rods built in Montgomery, Texas. Finest rods ever made by Mr. Billy Kistler, constructed by the finest North Fork composite blank by Gary Loomis. They carry a complete line of spinning and casting rods, freshwater, saltwater. They got everything you want. You can give them a call at 832-418-6040. And also Keith Toledo Bend Tackle. Keith, Ben Matsubu are down there all the time. Ben's a former Elite Series pro. If you're headed for Toledo Bend, Sam Rayburn, pull into Keith's Tackle. They'll tell you exactly what the bass are doing, exactly what the crappie are doing, exactly what the brim are doing. They'll tell you what you need. They've got it on their shelf. Their pegs are full. Check them out. Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located on the Highway 21, west side of Toledo Bend, just as you cross the Pendleton Bridge, will be on your left, right before you get to Carice Creek. And then one more, the Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency, been taking care of Texans' insurance needs for 25 years. Auto, homeowners, boat, recreational, life, commercial, they got it all. Owner Clark Moore, who is a local guide and tournament angler, who Kevin and I fish against, understands your insurance needs as a boat owner and wants to be your go-to guy for all your insurance needs. Give him a call at 936-205-4467. Again, that's the Lakes Insurance Agency located in Nacogdoches, Texas. So, and on the phone with us, we've got Raymond Kidd. We're going to kind of wrap this up with Raymond here. Raymond, the one thing I want you to kind of just let the public know right now what's going on in the boating industry. You know, you hear stories of, well, if you order a boat today, you're looking at, next April before you're going to get it. You need a motor. Can't get a motor right now. What's going on right now in the industry? Where are we at after COVID-19 and the major pandemic we went through?
The worst inventory levels I've ever seen in my life. And depending on what you order, it absolutely could be next April. Unfortunately, nobody knows. What the situation is. It is not a time to be picky, unfortunately. If you prefer a certain brand, you may have to wait. Yeah,
right. And I appreciate once again, Raymond's being honest with you. He's letting you know up front, here's what you're up against right now. And it's across the board. It don't matter what boat line, it don't matter what motor line, they're all struggling, aren't they?
No, absolutely. We're all getting a little more understanding of it. You got to think about a boat line or a motor line. There's so many components to get one big thing together, and we've got the smallest of small things that you wouldn't even think about. Our Caymus bass boats right now, we've got a wheel change. They could not get the 18-inch wheels that everyone liked, and so it's either stick with the wheel that you want and wait an extra 3 months, or take the wheel that we have now. And like I said, it's just not a good time, unfortunately, to be too picky on what you want. Make sure you air out all of the options with whichever dealer you're dealing with.
Yeah.
On the time frame, and if somebody tells you that they can get it to you in 6 weeks, they are fibbing.
Well, another thing too that I'm hearing, and you can probably confirm this, computer chips that are used in these motors today. I heard just something as small as a chip. They're having a hard time getting the right chips that they need. Absolutely they are. And it's chips, wiring harnesses, you name it. Yeah.
And it's, a 99% complete motor is still not complete, and so they can't ship anything. A lot of these components, no matter which brand, are from overseas, and there's a shipping container shortage now.
Yeah. Oh,
because
really?
Of all of this, that there's shipping containers all over the world stuck in ports, and
they can't get product in the container to get it over here.
Correct.
Oh my gosh! Holy cow! Well,
So
again,
we've been told in the industry to expect it to get closer to normal in August of 2022.
okay. Wow, that's basically another year or so.
Something that was hard for me to understand at first, but I'm coming to grips with it, is when you deplete all of your inventory, and all you can do is build whatever your product may be to direct sales. You know, every boat that's built right now has an owner. Every trolling motor has an owner. Every graph has an owner. You never ever catch up.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's going to take a while.
And with all this Raymond has just talked about, it's just more important now that you maintain what you have and keep it at a high performance level by getting your boat to a guy like Raymond where he can perform the routine maintenance that needs to be performed. Don't neglect that, because that's what's going to get you through another year. So you may have that boat that's in that 5-year-old, 6-year-old age range, especially if you're a tournament bass angler. 4 to 5 years is kind of a good life for a bass boat, and if you use it a lot. So you may want to get that extra year out of it, but you got to maintain it properly. So go see a guy like Raymond Kidd at the boat shop. He'll get your boat, keep you up and running until 2022, and then you can look at possibly buying a new boat. And but that doesn't mean he won't have any new boats between now and then. He's going to have them coming in every now and then. But
I've got 6 boats coming in July, so
yeah,
we'll have boats soon.
There you go. Raymond, man, thank you, bud. Hey, we appreciate
it so much.
We appreciate you. We appreciate your support for Tackle Talk Live. And, man, I can't say thank you enough for what you've done for me over the years. And, again, I wanted to toot your horn for you because I know how you are. You're not a guy that's going to be like that. So, but, again, thank you for what you do. We're glad you're there. And just look forward to doing more business with you in the future, man. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
All right. That's Raymond Kidd of the Boat Shop tuning in with us today. And, again, one of the sponsors of our show. And so what great information that we got out of that today. And, I mean, Kevin, he's still right here. He didn't have much to say today, but he is still with us. And in heart and soul, Kevin is with us right now. But anyway, we're going to move on real quick. We got a couple more things we want to talk about. Product of the week, I've got that. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. The RC Crawl. I want to show you a couple of things about this unique bait that Kevin showed last week. We're going to reiterate that again today. But first of all, just kind of give you an update on the Major League Bass Fishing Pro Tour right now that's going on. Let's see here. I believe they are at the St. Lawrence River Stage 5 event. And if you don't understand Major League Fishing, their tournaments are listed as stages. Stage 1, I think, was at Sam Rayburn. Stage 2 was wherever. This is Stage 5 event, and it's at the St. Lawrence River. John Cox is leading it. Tomorrow's the knockout round. But going into the knockout round, John's leading it with 135 pounds and 4 ounces. Dustin Cannell is in second with 119.15. Gerald Spohr is at 119.02, close second, close to Dustin Cannell. Brian Thrift is at 111.110, and Jason Elam is at 107.10. You can see all this action right now live on Major League Fishing. You can go to their website. You see live coverage. JT Kinney, Marty Stone, they do a great job of covering these events, and they're live on the air as we speak, covering them right now. I'm trying to think. I think they're in hour 2, getting ready to go into hour 3 pretty quick on the final day of this event as far as this round's concerned. Shotgun round or the knockout round is tomorrow. So I think the top 20 guys from Group A and Group B will fish tomorrow. So anyway, moving right along. Also, the Bass Elite Series up next for the Elite Series with BASS is Lake Champlain, New York. That tournament will start July the 8th. I believe that's a week from Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. And so that's their next event, Lake Champlain. Bass Champs, they have a new date. The Texas Shootout has been moved to September the 12th out of Humphrey Pavilion. It's $500 per team with official practice starting on September the 11th, the day before the event. $50,000 guaranteed. First place, 50 guaranteed. No matter if there's 250 boats show up or 20 boats show up, they're guaranteed the $50,000. Lake is off limits from 9/6 9-6 of September till 9-10. And again, the day before the tournament, you can pre-fish. So make sure you read the rules. Go to basschamps.com. Look at the flyer. You'll see it on their page and see all the rules. Make sure you follow the rules. Make sure you don't get on the water when you're not supposed to be so you won't be disqualified. ABA has rescheduled the South Texas Open Series final event. That event will take place August the 21st. That tournament was originally scheduled for July. They moved it, supposedly due to high water. It will now be continue to be out of Castle Boykin. And then the ABA two-day championship will be about a month later, or 2 or 3 weeks later, September 11th and 12th at Lake Palestine. That's a combination of the South Texas Division, East Texas Division combined into one championship event, a 2-day deal on Lake Palestine outside of Tyler, Texas. So if you look for that, top 5 from that event, from the regional, from the 2-day championship, will qualify. Top 5 guys will qualify for the Ray Scott Nationals at Lake Eufaula, Alabama. And the top 10 in points from each division at the end of the season will qualify for the Ray Scott as well. And if you've never been to Lake Eufaula, Alabama, I was there 2-3 years ago. Absolutely one of the best fisheries I've ever been to in my life. Great facilities, great accommodations. They got cabins 3 minutes from the boat ramp and a bunch of them. Great accommodations and just a great place for a tournament. And so if you haven't never been to Lake Eufaula, Alabama, and you want to fish this Ray Scott championship, man, it just doesn't get much better than that right there. Just a great event the ABA puts on each and every year, the Ray Scott Nationals. So, hey, that's it. Kevin, you got anything else you want to say? No, Kevin's a little speechless today. And by the way, he is in Branson, Missouri. His daughter's playing in a national softball tournament up there at Branson. Good luck to you guys up there in Branson. And Emory, bring on the championship, girl. So, but anyway, thanks for tuning in. Oh, real quick. I do have one more thing I need to talk to you about. The RC Crawl. We got to get this in. This is the new bait by V&M. New colors are coming in every single day. Kevin told me to make sure I emphasize that. They're being shipped out to local tackle dealers as we speak. As they come in, shipments are being fulfilled. But this is a really cool bait. It's a unique bait. It can be used as a punch bait. It can be used as a trailer. It can be used straight out of the package. But here's what makes it unique. On this bait, you've got a perforated line on both sides of it. So it's got a fat body on it right here. Well, you can actually take your scissors and you can trim those sides off. You can trim them off and turn this into a great trailer bait, either behind a swim jig, behind a chatterbait, spinnerbait, however way you want to fish it. There it is right there. Then it becomes a great punch bait. So V&M really knocked this out of the ballpark. It's called the RC Crawl. Very versatile, great action on the pinchers, and again, got a good body, good thick body. Just very durable bait. A bait's going to hold up for you. Not going to catch just one fish and throw them away. This here is a very durable bait. Will catch you a lot of fish, and but again, very versatile. Congratulations to V&M Kevin Jean, doing a great job over there with product development. And again, you couldn't ask for something. This is so unique and so different. You don't see this every day. Again, that's going to wrap us up. And we appreciate you tuning us in. Again, ask your tackle dealer if they're carrying V&M. RC Crawl is the name of the bait. Be showing up in your tackle stores soon, real soon. If not, they're already in certain colors, but the colors are continuing to roll in every day. If you want to be a sponsor of this program, again, we've got some great sponsors we've already gone over today. We'd love to have you. Send us a message on our Facebook page, and we will make sure Kevin will probably be the guy to get back to you. He'll make sure he gets you a packet, and you can become a part of the program. And again, and we know things are a little slow in the summertime, and we're not getting a ton of views right now, but we are getting good reception. So we're getting some views that are people that are dedicated to the program. We appreciate you. Click subscribe on there if you can, and also on our YouTube page as well. But check us out. Pass the word along, Tackle Talk Live. And again, next week, I think Kevin will be back with us in full body. And the real Kevin will be with us, not the mythical one. The real Kevin will be with us. But anyway, have a great week, guys. Good luck, good fishing. If you want to catch more fish, you got to keep watching Tackle Talk Live. Have a great week, everybody.